Hey, everybody. Happy hump day. We made it to another Wednesday and another therapy session. Let me actually turn off my phone here. I'm so happy to see you all. I hope that your week is going great. I always look forward to Wednesdays and therapy time with you all. So I have some good stuff to share with you today. And as Seth is sending me some crazy stuff right now, it's mind blowing what is going on in the trans space, even after the cast review. I don't know how many of you have taken the time to even look at the cast review, but holy crap. The fact that people are ignoring it says everything to me. So, before we move forward and some really great conversations today and some great therapy, I'd love to know where everybody's from so I can shout you out. Hey, Janie, thanks for joining me from Tennessee. Right on. I'll give you guys all a shout out and then we can move forward because we need therapy. I need therapy. I don't know about all you you guys, but I look forward to all of you and my therapy session. So we got Netherlands, we got California from Wisconsin, we got Nebraska, right on. Unfortunately, Florida. Well, there's pros and cons to everywhere. Beirut, Lebanon, England, Spain, Texas. Wow, you guys are killing me here today, right? Bingham, New York. We got Canada, Nova Scotia, Wyoming. Thank you so much, everybody. Simi Valley, right on. Toronto, Canada, Sweden, North Carolina, Ontario. Oh, man, you guys are all so great. Thank you, North Carolina. Thanks for joining me today. West Virginia, right on. Maryland, Indonesia, Seattle, Colorado. Wow, we got everybody in the house. Wales, is that South Carolina? Pakistan's in the house, right on. Germany, Seattle, Finland's in the house. We got Indiana. It's not boring, Indiana. I have some actual friends that live there. New Orleans, where I used to live, which is awesome. Arkansas, right on. Let's do this, you guys. So it means so much to me that you all, Missouri, South Carolina, Newfoundland, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Philly. Wow, you guys, this is so great. We got the whole world in the house. It's true. Northern California. We actually got the whole world in the house. And we even have Pakistan in the house, which is kind of mind-blowing. Northern California, PA, we got England in the house. So with that, everybody, Vancouver Island, beautiful, beautiful place. Florida's here, right on. So let's talk about men are man. Today I named the Israel's in the house. Thank you, Israel, for being here. Sending you lots and lots of love. That's a conversation I would love to have. The Palestine Israeli situation, but it's not an easy conversation to have. And everybody seems very one-sided. Nobody's actually willing to listen to certain facts that I believe are not being spoken about. I'm not going to get into it because it's just not going to I don't know. What do you mean by free Palestine? What do you mean by that? Let me just bring this person up for 1 minute because I actually want to know what that means. What does that mean, Halls of Hamad? What does that mean, free Palestine? If you could elaborate, that would actually help me and maybe some of the people that were in this room today, because I don't particularly know what free Palestine means. It can mean so many kinds of things, but I really like to know. So here you are again. Are you just going to keep doing that the whole time we're having a conversation? Because I'm going to kick you out of the room if you keep doing that. So free Palestine from Hamas is what you should be saying. Free Palestine from Hamas, not free Palestine, because you don't even know what you're saying. Okay, I do know what I'm saying. Hamas is what runs Palestine. Okay, so if you write here, free Palestine from Hamas, okay, I will put it here. And I will understand and I'll have a conversation. But just free Palestine doesn't work for me. It does not work for me because it doesn't mean anything to me. It means you are part of a conversation or you're part of a space that is just on some level gaslighting the whole conversation. Why are you not talking about Hamas? Why are you not talking about? They did elect Hamas. That is exactly right. How come we're not talking about Hamas? You cannot just say free Palestine. It doesn't work that way. There is a bigger, deeper picture than that. bigger and deeper, okay? And as an American, I don't necessarily have all the tools to have that conversation. And that's the part that pisses me off. Too many people are getting in the conversation. Too many people who think they're doing the right thing are getting in the conversation when it's extremely difficult and very layered conversation. But the one thing I will not take is free Palestine as just the thing. And if you don't say free Palestine, you're causing a genocide in your call. That's not true. That is not true. But anyway, as you see, it is a very, very difficult conversation. And I do not think a lot of people want to have it in a nuanced space. They're either over here or they're over here, just like the trans conversation, just like free Frankenstein. That's about right. That's about right there. That's what I'm talking about. So we're not going to have the heavy conversation today, friends. We're not going to have it, but I would be more than happy to have it. And if you want, I can bring guests on. I would like a Palestinian guest and an Israeli guest. And then maybe together I could be a moderator and maybe we can talk about this in a way that I don't particularly believe. Now, I want you all to know that I also live in a Jewish household, okay? I'm converting to Judaism. I'm Jewish as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't mean that I'm 100% backing the Israeli government, but I do understand some things that some other people might not understand, okay? So I do not believe in free Palestine, okay? I do not. I don't believe that that's the conversation. The conversation has to be free Palestine from Hamas. Why are you not talking about terrorism? Hamas happens to be a terrorist group, by the way. It's yay, Courtney. It's so as you see, it will get very heated very fast, okay? And a lot of people aren't willing to understand Queers for Palestine, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Queers for Palestine is a joke. And that's how I know nobody knows what they're talking about. The minute you got a bunch of young, non binary, trans queers going, free Palestine, they don't know what they're talking about. They do not. So let's just move on because it's completely turned into a joke and it's disgusting because nobody's talking about hostages. Nobody's talking about Hamas. Nobody's talking about terrorists. Okay. Nobody's talking about anti Semitism. No one's talking about any of that. They're only talking about one thing, free Palestine. But that's not how it works. You got to talk about the whole fucking thing. Just like today, we got to talk about the whole fucking thing. And to me, what trans has come down to is man versus woman. That's what trans has come down to. Man versus women. Okay? So that being said, why are we not having this conversation in the transgender community? Hey, everybody, thanks for showing up. I see you all. Thank you. Okay? Right. Why are we not having this conversation? It is literally about man versus woman right now. That's what I see. As a transsexual, I see something that is very, very, Italy's in the house, right on, Italy. I see something very dangerous happening. Now, I'm going to say it because you all know me, right? You all know me. I am not scared to talk about my opinions. I am not scared to have hard conversation. I am not scared to push back on something I feel as an ideology. And I think it's why we've built this great space here. As you know, I also encourage you to say, no, Buck, I don't agree with that. And I'm totally okay with that. You all know that. I believe that we're not having, St. Louis is in the house. We're not having the conversation because everyone is so scared to say the wrong thing, or to do the wrong thing, or to, let me tell you this right now, everybody, if you stand by what you believe in, it might be different than what I believe in, but if you stand solid in what your belief system is, you are allowed to have that belief system. This is what I don't understand. Ohio's, and I know title, we're going to talk about the Title X thing. That is totally insane. I am so tired of people just towing a party line because they're too fearful. They're too fearful to stand in their own space. Why have we come to a situation where people are too scared to have their own opinion, be solid in their own opinion, be okay with their own opinion if it's disagreement from the rest of the crowd of people? You all know that I stand in a whole other space than the trans community. I get beat up on a constant daily basis. People say gnarly things to me in the trans community. I've been sort of ostracized, which honestly, it doesn't bother me because I know what I'm saying is my own space and it's what I truly believe in. And it's what I know as a factually based system. I look at things, I don't just say them. I do research. I look at things. I try to find that space that says, no, Buck, those people are telling you something that's not true. That's where you can learn to stand in your own space, not your own truth, but the truth. If you know the truth, you've got to say it. You have to, no matter what anybody says to you. It's going to hurt when you lose a friend. It's going to hurt when a community doesn't like you anymore. But you want to know what? Let me just reassure you something. The hurt is not forever. That pain of losing a friend, that pain of people calling you names, that pain of maybe losing your community is not forever. The thing that will be forever is your integrity, your self-worth, your self-love. That's what counts more than they do. You count more than they do. Can you live with the fact that you're not standing up to people who are creating a divide that can actually be hugely dangerous to the survival of our society, of our democracy, of ourselves as sexual human beings? Are you just going to sit there and let people say men can be women and women can be men when that's not the truth? I'm not going to do that. As a transsexual, I'm not going to do that because I don't see the purpose in that. And I don't see the positivity in making lies. Hey, Lizzie, thank you so much for joining us today. I wanted to touch on two-spirit. Trans TikTok loves to tell you not to appropriate cultures, but they love appropriating that term when it suits them, but never at thank you. That's what I'm also talking about. That is an actual term created by Native Americans or native spaces that all of a sudden everyone just takes on appropriation. That is appropriating. Also, that is why it is important for me to say I'm a transsexual man. I'm not a man, because if I just say I'm a man, I'm appropriating male space. As I say to you today, I'm a biological female who lives as a male. I'm not a man. That makes me feel better, and it makes me feel like I'm not appropriating any space. To appropriate space, you have to take it on as yours, right? So that makes a lot of sense. These people are taking on native culture without asking if it's even okay. So yeah, two-spirit comes from that. They also do this over there in that community. Want to know what else they do? They appropriate so many things. They appropriate autism. They appropriate intersex condition. Okay. I think now they call it DSD, but I'll just use intersex. They appropriate that. They appropriate trans. They appropriate gay. They appropriate lesbian. A man cannot be a lesbian. A woman cannot be a gay man. I mean, you can identify all you want, but does that actually make you that person? For example, I can put this on. I can put this on. T-shirt, hat, bald head, beard and mustache. Am I appropriating by doing this? Is this an appropriation of maleness? Seriously, it's a question I want you all to sort of think about for a minute and answer. And I will not get in any way, shape, or form hurt by your answer if I don't agree with it. Okay. Am I appropriating maleness by growing a beard, putting on man clothes, walking the world with a man? That's right. Technically, yes. Technically, yes. I will agree with you. I have appropriated maleness, but here's where I feel like I'm not for my own consciousness. I acknowledge my biology, right? I acknowledge my biology. So I'm not just going around saying I'm a man. You all know that. I always tell you I'm not. I'm not a man. So on some level, by me walking the world in this outfit, in this way, right, I agree with you. I've appropriated an aesthetic. Thank you. But I acknowledge that I'm not a man. So I'm not sure if you know what I mean? So that's a situation there. But we can talk about people who say I have autism when they don't, or say I'm a trans person when they're not, or for trans women to say trans women are women. That's appropriation. When you say trans women are women, that bam, to me that's appropriation, because you're not a woman. You're not a woman. Appropriation versus appreciation. Thank you for that. That's a great one. So Lily, thank you, friend. Emulating a man, not that's right. That's right. But in the context of our conversation, right? You could say I'm appropriating. And I won't get my feelings hurt because I agree with you on some level. I am. But I have to take that on for myself in order to feel this confident person you see right here. I wouldn't be this confident person if I didn't appropriate the male look, right? But I think what we really need to understand here is the difference between whoever wrote that, appropriation versus appreciation. That is a great thing. Thank you for that. I appreciate being able to dress this way, right? I appreciate every day I wake up happy. I wake up happy. I don't wake up angry and mean and disconnected from you. I wake up happy that I get to put on the Dodger t-shirt and the cap and put on my sweats and look like a man. Every day that makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. I can't even acknowledge to you more than this. Yay, how insanely grounded that makes me feel, and how grateful I am to be able to put this situation on my body and walk the world. That's what I want everyone to see. I want you to see my gratitude. I don't want you to see my pain. I don't want you to see any of that, because my pain went over here. The minute I get to wake up every day and put on the man clothes, and every day I get to comb my beard, even combing my beard is such an amazing experience for me, that you as a man who just genetically grows that stuff won't necessarily have the same appreciation. Not that it's bad, it's just a different appreciation. I have such an appreciation for this gift of being able to dress like a man and walk like a man and be a man. It's hard for me to express it to you if you never had to deal with that dysphoric space. So the way that I can explain my own dysphoria to you is, when I looked at you, in my brain, I pictured this man right here, but looking back at me, you saw a woman. And I could tell. I could always tell that you didn't see me like this. You saw me like a woman. That made me uncomfortable. That made me not want to have conversation, not talk, not walk, not function in the world. And that's my dysphoria. The dysphoria lied all on my physical attributes. That's all it lied on. It didn't, nothing else. I'm still the same person inside of me that I was before I changed my look. But that's why I need to tell you that I'm not a man. I'm a woman who needs to look like a man in order to walk the world where I feel comfortable enough to create all of this stuff and to then join hands with you and walk the world in that space. But what I see today is such an incredible amount of hate and anger, specifically towards women. I actually see it. And I probably see it different than a lot of people because, again, let me give you this. I lived as female for a lot of my life, so I get to see the world in that way. No man born male, a biological male, will ever understand that, ever. I don't care how empathetic or sympathetic or compassionate or women's rights you will never understand walking the world as a woman. I don't care if you're a man who even wants to be a woman. You still will never understand what it means to walk the world as a woman. I do. I do. And nobody can say that I didn't or that I don't. And I think it's why I come to this conversation with a different way of being than most of the newer generation of trans, or even somebody who hasn't lived in this space. I hope that makes sense to you. It's why I have to speak up. It's why I have to talk about these kinds of things. Hey, Lily, it, that that's one of the most truest statements of our time. This is one of the most truest, is that a word? Truest, realist, most profound statements of our time. Would you ever believe in 2024 we would be saying that? Would you believe it? Not me. Not somebody who fought for women's rights, not somebody who was a female athlete, not somebody who was a lesbian, not somebody who had to navigate the world as a butch woman, not somebody who actually saw it when women were getting their faces punched in all the time on the streets of West Hollywood because they were butch masculine women. No, I never in a million years would think we were back full circle. We are back full circle. Women are under attack. There is no doubt in my mind. Women are under attack. It has become a man. It has become a man versus woman. It doesn't matter, right? If you agree or disagree or whatever you need to do for it, my eyes as a person, an actual human being who has lived on this face of the earth as an actual woman and lived on this face of this world as a man, a woman who presents as a man and thus walks in the male space now. I walk in male space. You can't deny that I don't. So do you see what I have here? I hope you see. I feel like I have a very special vantage point. Hey, Danny, nice to see you, friend. Some people's dysphoria is centered around physical attributes, while others, sadly, have psychological need to literally believe. Yes, this is a great point, and why we need to distinguish these different types of dysphoria. It's not flatlined trans. It's not a lot of some trans people live without ever even acknowledging it or even going through medical transition. That's a very important statement. Dysphoria, it hits all of us in different ways. For me, it was 100% my physical attributes, me being seen as a woman. That was the thing that I didn't like. And the minute I started looking more masculine, it was like the most freeing thing I can ever tell you. This is what I want you all to understand. The point to transition is to be happy. The point of whatever transition you're doing is to be happy, because you're sad and disconnected now if you are truly dealing with gender dysphoria. So what I don't see is all of these people who are transitioning turning out to be happy, functioning, successful people. I see an angry group of people who are so not happy with their transition and are so mad at the world and just keep putting their hand out. That's what I see from the trans community. Gimme, gimme, gimme. We're victims. There's a genocide. People hate us. Trans rights are human rights. That's all I keep hearing from that community. I don't see happy people. Where are they? They don't seem happy at all. I hope you see I hope you see a happy tranny right here. This is what a happy transsexual person looks like. I fucking grounded. I know I got my shit going on. I don't think about being trans all day long. I do all kinds of other things. Transition. Who can go find me the definition of the word transition? Someone go put that here for me. Could you? I want to transition. right? It means from A to B or A to Z, transition. You are crossing a bridge. You are supposed to go from this side to this side. You're not supposed to be stuck right here. You're supposed to make transition means you are transitioning to happiness. If you're not transitioning to happiness and you're transitioning to anger and disconnect and all violence and toxicity and all, what are you doing? What do you do? It means changing from, thank you. It means changing from one into another. Transition. What are they doing? I don't see transition. I see stuck. I see I'm stuck right here. I'm angry at the world because I'm trans. I'm angry at the world because we don't have any rights. And all of the, what rights don't trans people have? Can anyone in this room answer to me? I want to know what right this day and age in 2024, name me one right that a trans person doesn't have. If there's some trans person in this room who feels that way, trans prefix means to cross, not stop halfway. So those people then aren't transitioning, are they? Are they? Now, let me ask you this question. Can a non-binary person be trans? Can a non-binary person be trans? My opinion, no. How are you transitioning if you're non-binary? Non-binary just means you're floating in the middle. Trans means exactly what they just put here, from one to the other. So there's so much, no, everyone's no, of course not. Everyone is, it's so bizarre to me that non-binary people want to also be trans. Why do they want to be trans? It's the opposite of trans. That's right. Why would people want so bad to latch on to trans, but then call it non-binary? It literally makes no sense. But why? Why would someone, well, non-binary, this is interesting. I just want to bring this. Non-binary doesn't exist, right? I see this all the time. Non-binary doesn't exist. I saw this somewhere, but someone wrote that. Non-binary doesn't exist. Now, that being said, I would say it for me, I would say it this way. Non-binary is a choice of identity. I think it exists because it is in the zeitgeist and people are actually identifying. So for me, it exists, but I do not acknowledge it as trans. I acknowledge it as an identity choice. You see the difference? That's why I don't understand how you can be trans and non-binary. It doesn't make sense. It's not. It's not. It's just, it's made up. That's right. It's literally made up. It's a choice of an identity. Like when somebody calls themselves Zs or Zems, that's not real, but it exists because they're making it up, right? So they're making up shit ton of neo pronouns. They exist. The neo pronouns are there, but are they actually real? Well, on some level, they're real because they're real in these people's identity choice, right? It's an identity. So it only exists in that person's mind because they're creating these pronouns, z, zem, zer, za, 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 and in their minds, they exist. So the other thing I want to ask is, so when somebody makes up an identity choice like z, zem, zers, right? Is it up to us, the people who know that it's completely BS, who know that it's all made up fairy tales? Is it up to us to acknowledge that pronoun? And if we do acknowledge that pronoun, are we playing in that game? To me, that is on some level mental illness. Do we have to play along? I guess is my question. Is it up to us to validate Zers? Hey, Angela, thank you so much, friend. It's privileged people needing to be oppressed because the extreme left media, etc., are telling them there are only oppressors and oppressed. No, you got it. It's the language. So see how they're creating all this language also? So the younger generation, a certain generation, they feel oppressed. I'm the oppressor because now I'm a white man, right? Like we're all bad people. All of us are bad people. All of us. We're all bad. They're not trying to find solutions. Nobody wants to find solutions. They want to just be hardlined this way or that way. You can't tell me how to be. I'm not going to play into people's bullshit. I'm not. I don't care if you're a Zizemthurs. I don't even, that doesn't, to me in my brain, no. No. That's forced. So I guess this is really what I want to say to you right here. This is something that's been in my mind. It's why I don't care if you call me she. I honestly don't care. Hey, Jake, nice to see you, friend. I don't care if you call me she. I know who I am. That's why it's important for you to understand that just because you need to see me as a she, that's okay with me. It's not gonna hurt me because that's you. I can't force you to see me in a way that I need you to see me. That's not up to you to validate me. It's not. It never has been up to you. It's up to me to validate me. And it's why I tell you, when we start playing this pronoun game and we start playing this, we got to do what they say because or else we're being disrespectful. That's a bunch of BS because it works both ways. I know damn well Zizemzer is bullshit, made up fairy tale shit. In my brain, I know that. So when you expect me to call you Zizemzer, am I going against my own morals or my own way of thinking? Does that make sense? If I let you force me to use your language, am I now going against my own belief system? Right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's the same way I feel about if you call me she. I can't have that feeling about Zizemzer, Zo, whatever, and then expect you to just call me he when you don't see me as a he, right? So I have to respect that in order to have my own opinion about Zizemzer. I have to be open to letting you have yours, and your opinion of me is I'm still a she, I'm not a he. It sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck, right? That's right. That's who wrote that? Here it goes, right here. Sorry, you can't demand respect without giving respect back. That's my point. That is 100% my point. I would be a hypocrite. I would be 100% a hypocrite if I didn't let you say she to me. Because the fact still remains. No matter how much I grow a beard, no matter how much I work out, no matter how much testosterone I take, no matter how many surgeries I do, the fact remains. I'm female. Never will that change. Ever. I don't care how much shit I shove in my body. I don't care how manly I look. That's a fact. And by me acknowledging that fact, it makes me more powerful. It doesn't make me weak. It makes me powerful because I keep telling you all, I live in truth, not the truth, not this truth, not the truth. And the fact remains that a transsexual person is a person who changes their outside to fit their inside. The fact remains that you will never change your sex. The fact remains that no child is born trans. I was not born trans. I was born with something in my brain that said, I would rather you see me as a male than as a female. It's a disorder. It's something that's a little bit off. It's not a big fucking deal. It used to be real fucking simple. You just fucking change it. and then you're happy and you go along with the world. We've been here forever. You all know that. We've been using the toilets. We've been walking the world. I've been girlfriends and boyfriends and all kinds of stuff. Nobody ever made a big deal out of it because I didn't make a big deal out of it. And now what we have is a group of people who are being disingenuous, who are not part of what we're talking about here. Thank you, Holly. I do appreciate that so much. It means a lot to me. And the truth does matter. It matters more than ever today. It matters more than ever, especially for trans people. How dare we walk around telling the world that trans women are women and trans men are men, and that trans women can play women's sports, and that trans women can have babies, and that trans women have uteruses, and trans women have period, and men get pregnant, and men. What are we doing? What are we doing? That is not helping anybody. And in fact, it's ruining it all. I sit here today telling you my life has been nothing but amazing from transition. I never forced you. And it's why I have a lot of friends who are not trans. I didn't surround myself with trans. That is not why I am trans. I needed to get back into the world and feel comfortable being around you. That's the whole ultimate goal of a transsexual, is to get back with you. Not continue to stay in a bubble and float around the world in some weird tranny bubble that keeps reinforcing that you're victim, that you're bad, that the world doesn't understand you, that you were really born a boy and not a girl, and that you can have a sex change from the age of literally 0. I never in a million years would think that a community would be spitting out this stuff, ever, ever. Hey, Lily, thank you, friend. I'm concerned teachers need 3/4. That's right. It's very concerning, Lily, that we have teachers who are queer just putting stuff in little kids' ears. It's sick and it's wrong. And I stand against all of that stuff. That's indoctrination. I'm going to say this to you. I never had a teacher who told me about themselves, not even if they were married. I didn't really fucking care. Nobody asked those questions. And I remember once somebody did ask, the teacher would be like, "That's none of your business." I remember the teacher saying that. That's none of your business. Now, all of the teachers' personal business is our business, even their sex lives. They're talking about being polyamory to young people. That's indoctrination. If you really are struggling with your dysphoria and you really are struggling with your transness, you know it. You don't need somebody to tell you otherwise. You know you're gay. I knew that I was attracted to girls from that small. I knew it. I was attracted to my next door neighbor at 10, and I would just be like, oh, like didn't even know what to do because I'm 10 and I'm having feelings for another girl, which we know is somehow you innately know that's not right. And I'm so freaked out because I have a crush on my next door neighbor. I mean, I remember that as a young person, but I don't ever remember being trans as a young person. I never said I was trans. I said I'm a boy. I'm a boy, I would say. I'm a boy. Okay? And I would say I like her. I never said I liked him. I like her. So maybe in my brain I needed to be a boy in order to like her. Maybe that's what was happening. Maybe that's really what was happening and why eventually I grew up to be a gay woman. Maybe that's why. We're putting this blanket idea on kids that if they feel one way, okay, bam, you must be trans. How come they're not saying you must be gay? I really want to ask this question. How come all the kids that are non-conforming today are all immediately put into the trans space? How come we're not saying, wait a minute, wait a minute, maybe little Susie is gay? But instead we're saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe little Susie is trans. Do you notice that? How come nobody is saying gay? It's weird to me. It's actually something I totally see. All of these trans kids and not one of them is gay. Bullshit. Bullshit. No way. Hey, Stardust, nice to see you, friend. I think they are searching for friends to make them feel better in children who don't know any better because adults are hard to manipulate. I 100% agree. I will call them out real quick. Deranged behavior. I am 100% on board with you. That's right, because you can manipulate children. It's very easy to manipulate children. 100%. 100%. I'm 100% in agreement with you, friend. Hey, Lizzie says, talking to your class about being poly gives David Koresh vibes. It is actually nasty. Nasty, nasty. You don't talk to your students like that. Not even in high school, man. Not even in high school. Don't you dare tell your students, I'm in a poly relationship. What? The kids don't even know what poly is, and now you're teaching them about poly? That's sick. That is sick and wrong. And don't ever let me hear my teacher, my kid doing that. So this is where I want you all to see. Why are there so many trans kids, yet no gay kids? It's literally off balance. Because if there's that many, right? If there's that many trans kids, there's got to be that many gay kids. But here's what we know from the CAS report. In fact, hold on one second, friends. I'm going to bring something up right here. Hold on. Let me bring something up. I want to show you something. It's very, very important that you see this. This came out today. This came out. Is that it? Yeah, here it is. Watch. This is very important, friends. The UK implementation of CAS report key to protecting girls from serious harm. A UN expert says. You guys, do you know what a big deal this is? This is from the UN. Here, I want to read this one piece to you that's really important. The CAS review recommends adopting a holistic approach to care for children, including girls seeking gender therapy, instead of rapidly initiating permanent gender transition pathways that usually begin with puberty blockers, which could cause temporary and permanent disruption to brain maturation. Okay. The review also made it important to address the root cause of their distress while considering the high rates of coexisting neurodiversity and mental health issues. Bam. Bam. This is from the UN, people. They're hearing us. They're saying the CAS report literally is the gold standard. It says, what are we doing? Why are you transitioning little kids who this report, CAS report, also said 80% of the kids they were transitioning were homosexual. 80%. They also said this. I don't know if you know about this. Listen to this. It's totally what we all should know. The trans community says puberty blockers are pausing so the kid could take a minute to think before or unless they want to transition. That's what the trans community says. The CAS report says the minute you put a child on puberty blockers, you have now destined them to transition. Something like 90% of the kids put on puberty blockers went on to take cross-sex hormones. So there is no pause. That's what I want you all to understand here today. Puberty blockers are not a pause. Puberty blockers are an actual gateway to transition. So the minute you put your child on puberty blockers, they're almost 100% going to transition. The minute you don't put your child on puberty blockers, 80% of that time, they're not going to transition. They're going to grow out of it. That should have us all concerned. It's not a pause. Puberty blockers are not a pause. Puberty blockers are a gateway drug. They're a little gateway drug. The UN is saying it. The Cass report is saying it. Everybody is saying it. Yet the trans community will not in any way, shape, or form ever own up to it. What's that called? Cost sunk fallacy. Do you all know cost sunk fallacy? When you put too much money in something, you can't turn back. That's what's happening in the trans community. They put too much money into it. They can't turn back. They're not willing to say they were wrong. They're not willing to do that. That should scare the out of you all. They're not willing to say they were wrong because of their own ego, and they put too much money into it. So they're never going to say it's not real, even with all the facts slapped in their face. They're over there. I'm watching all the trans activists spinning out. Don't listen to the Cass report. It's not true. You don't have to read it. I read it for you. Fucking read it. If you have to spend every night before you go to bed reading one page of the Cass review, I highly recommend you do it, because it will not only help you to understand what's really going on, it will also help you to push back against the ideologues. It's real. Yes, I'll be covering the Tickle case. Sal is a very good friend of mine, so I'm trying to get her on the show here. Would you all like to see her? You all know this case. Sal Grover is a great friend of mine, and I'm going to hopefully get her on the show. So that will be great. So let me, oh, hey, Lucky Burrito. Thank you for joining us today. So let me bring up a couple of these. Let me just show you this real quick here that Seth sent me this morning before we went on air. I want to show you this. This is really important. And thanks, Seth, for getting this. Check this out. It's going to freak you all out. So this is new in Germany. Let me bring it bigger here for you. I don't know if you all can see it. So Germany has passed a new law that will enable parents to transition their babies. Oh my God, push this down. What? To transition their babies starting from the moment they are born. I just yelled. I'm sorry. Did you hear that? Did you all just hear that? What? This is actually, the Self-Determination Act has also established a 10,000 euro fine for exposing a transgender person's biological sex. We're screwed. We're screwed. We're fucking screwed. That can't be real. But Redux is usually pretty on it. What is happening? That's what I'm telling you. If we don't put a stop to this, they're literally trying to take away biology off the table. They're saying little babies can be transitioned. So if you have a fucking crazy mom, right? If you have a crazy mom who's like, I have a trans kid in my belly, my kid is trans. If you have a crazy mom like that, they're going to transition their kid, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's child abuse. It's sick. The world has off the deep end, you guys. Off the deep end. Off the deep end. I don't even know what to say. My mind is blown. Stardust. Oh, fucking hell. This is literally just designer baby light. What the, who is in the right mind thinks trans? Who in the right mind? It's clearly they're not in their right mind. Clearly something is going on. Where is God? God. Hey, dude, what is happening? How are you letting this happen? Is this a joke? Is God playing a joke on all of us? What's happening? This has to be some kind of like, something's happening. God's messing with us all here, because something has to change quick. If more of these laws start to pass, how are we going to change back? How are you? Are you there, God? It's me, Buck. Totally. Help us, please. I'm begging you. What else do I need to do? Oh my God, this is out of control. A baby trans. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, I'm laughing because you all know it's completely, we're done. I mean, I don't even know. Should I just give up? Should I just give up? And like, when I get a baby, should I call it a trans baby? In ZPG China, this will affect Ooh, good point. Good point. We can't have this. It can't be right. But no, I'm telling you, Seth, just Redux is pretty on their stuff. Okay. Do you want to laugh for a minute? Do you guys want to laugh for a minute? I mean, what? Also, I would really appreciate it if you could like this. And I would also appreciate it if we're going to be putting out a reaction video after this that, oh, friends. Oh, and I have another good reaction video coming up about, did you all see that school in Pennsylvania for elementary school? I think the kids are in 7th grade. And there's a trans girl who's a boy who made a hit list against a bunch of the other girls. And then he slaughtered this girl's head with a Stanley Cup. Are you all familiar with that one? Oh, I'm doing a reaction on it. So if you're not familiar, it's coming. It's insane. The trans girl, a boy, smashed the crap out of a girl, like beat the crap out of her. And everyone was just like, what? We told you this person made a hit list and no one did anything. And then the media is calling it a girl. It's not a girl. It's a boy. At least say trans girl, but they're not even saying trans girl. The woke media is calling it a girl. Yep, they're calling it a girl. It's not a girl. It's a boy who thinks it's a girl. You see what happens when you start saying the boys are girls and the girls are boys? You mess with the whole system, because then, and J.K. Rowling said that. So now men who are identifying as women are now being classified as women crimes. Those aren't women crimes. Those are male, toxic, angry crimes. Men and women are different. Man versus women. Men are much more this way. Men react to things in a much different way than women do. It's a fact. Men have more aggression. Hormones are different. The way we think, the way we act, all of that. Things change for me, but I'm still female, and I come to things, I think, in a more sort of nuanced way because of my biology. But testosterone ramps me up and makes me more aggressive on some level. So that's why we can't call that boy a girl. That's a boy beating up on a girl. Period. I'm pissed, you guys. I'm pissed that girls are being pushed to the side for boys. Women are being pushed to the side for men. For men's fetish, for men's desire to be a woman, for misogyny, for it all. Women are being screwed right now because men think they're women. Really? Really? I'm not standing. I don't know what you people are doing, but I'm not going to be okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Watch this. Watch this shit. Watch.
The call to action or call.
Watch this freak.
So I'm the one who went viral back in March of 2023 in a viral video that I made where I was a call to action or call to arms. Go out, buy a gun. If you try to stop me from going into a woman's bathroom, it'd be the last mistake you ever make. Yeah, I'm that person, and I stand by every fucking word I've ever said. The fact that I have to explain now, here we are a year later, explain why I made that video and just how many fucking stupid people there are in my comment section and in my DMs saying you threatened women and children. Nowhere in that video did I threaten women and children.
Really?
A broken fucking record. I mean, I made that video in response to somebody else who was making unaliving statements or unaliving promises to another trans femme on this app.
So y'all know this one, right? This one is the one he just said, right? I'm not calling him she. Nope. You don't get no respect for me, buddy. You came after everyone. You do not. You should be in jail, buddy. But to my point, man versus woman. This man who says he's a woman says to women, go ahead and try to stop me from going in the women's room. It'll be the last thing you do. That is a 100% pure threat towards women. That's a threat to women. And that's a man. That is that's a man. That's what I keep trying to tell you all. The minute we start saying that's a woman, we have now destroyed everything, because that's not a woman. It is a man who wants to be a woman. And it's a man with male aggression, okay, telling people that he will take them out, like toxic masculinity beyond belief, complete wingnut, very dangerous if you ask me, and a man. And he wants to use the women's restroom, and he thinks he has a right to use the women's restroom. You know that. In this time right now, he actually does have the right to go into the women's restroom looking like that. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Nothing. I can't even believe I have to say that, because guess what? If he was going into the women's restroom and my kid was in there, and if I had a little girl and she was in that restroom, he would not be entering that restroom. Just so you know, he would not be interested. I'd have a little talk with him, just so you know. And I'm trans, and I'm going to have a little talk with you, buddy. You need to use the men's room, or you need to use the family room. And yeah, well, I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to move on to the next one, because it's just, now watch this. I get so mad, you guys. I absolutely can't understand in my brain. I'm not an idiot. Just so you know, I'm not an idiot. And transition has been so incredible for me. And then I have to deal with these fucking people pretending they're trans. What? Stardust, thank you, friend. I would rather piss my pants. Me too. No, I'd rather piss on him. Like, what? No, dude, get out now, and we will stop you, just so you know. So don't threaten us. I know lots of women who conceal, carry, and they would not hesitate to take you out, just so you know. So don't throw your weirdo threats because you think you have all these rights to say that. I can't believe that that person is still on the internet. I can't believe it. I just can't. Okay, watch this, wingnut. So, oh, this is going to mess you up. This is so sick.
Ooh.
It's good. It's good. It's good. Are we still on the cake pop bag?
We're further down.
We're further down
yes.
now. What's underneath the cake pop
gross.
bag?
You're so
There it is. The floor? The ground?
The basement.
The basement. There it is.
You like that?
I like the basement.
Okay.
The basement of
Disgusting.
the cake pop factory. I'm making cake pops upstairs. In my case,
Y'all know this is the one who loves to talk about their genitals as cake pops and donuts and all kinds of fun things. They talk about their genitals. And now they're talking about how they're getting their genitals removed. And now they're at electrolysis, getting their nuts waxed, and literally sitting there making us all watch, okay, as they get off. This is a fetish. This has nothing to do with being trans. No real, actual, self-respecting trans person would do this. Put a camera while they're having their nuts electrolysis and talk about it.
in my case, the factory is empty. What's above the cake pop factory?
The penthouse.
Disgusting.
The penthouse. I like it.
It's the most, I just had to show you that because I'm just blown away by these trans people. That's not a trans woman. That is a man who fetishizing. Let me remind you. This is a man. This is a man who's fetishizing. Right here. Look at
the cake pop bag.
That's a man fetishizing being a woman, but talking about getting their nuts electrolysis stuff. No woman does that because women don't have testicles. And also the fact that you're putting it there while you're getting all this done and talking about it, Look at his face. He's getting off on it. He's totally getting off on it at our expense. So he's using that. I'm very familiar with fetishists, just so you know. And that is classic fetish dude. They like to be publicly humiliated. That's a fetish, to be publicly humiliated. It turns some guys on. It also turns some guys on to do things non-consensually. It's a turn on. It's a fetish. It is not trans. Trans people are not fetishizing themselves. An AGP fetishizes themselves. A cross-dresser fetishizes them. A transvestite, not an actual transsexual. These are the things I want you to see. No, Blair White would never do this. I use her as an example because she is the one and only example. She would never do that. Can you see Blair doing this? Never. It's revolting. I keep saying, keep your shit private, dude. This is the stuff they use against us, by the way. The people who hate me, they use that kind of stuff against us. Hey, Courtney, if I had a TikTok, I'd get him banned off there like we did on Twitter. I'm trying. I have a TikTok, and I'm trying so hard to get him removed. He's sick. He has a huge following, right? He has a huge following of young people. It's so wrong. It's just wrong. So earlier we were talking about non-binary, and it's so annoying, the non-binary thing, because I just wish they would stay away from trans. I don't care if you're non-binary, go right ahead, but you're not trans. So why are you infiltrating and appropriating trans space? Hey, Lizzie, thank you so much. Bucks is cracking down now. By the way, they released an anti-bullying module stating gender identity doesn't excuse behavior. What's S-Bucks? I don't know what that is, or am I reading it wrong? Yeah, his TikTok is Lily Lino or something like that. That's his TikTok. Okay. Yeah, keep it to yourself, dude. Why are you publicly posting your nuts being, that's sick. But you know what? He's full on getting off on it. Full on going home and doing the deed. Think about all of us watching him. It's so I actually threw up in my mouth. Yeah, I have TikTok. Come and join me on TikTok. I'm pushing against that whole space until they report me enough. They're reporting the trans community is reporting the crap out of me on there. It's Mr. Buck Angel. All of you should follow me on there because I'm really trying to sort of push get away from helping these kids find a better space and talk real to them. So anyway, let me show you this one right here, because you all know how I feel about the non-binary thing. Is so bizarre to me. The non-binary people who consider themselves trans blows my mind. So I want you to see this, and I'm going to say something here.
I am a man. I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man.
What? None of that made sense. I am a man. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not a man. I am a trans man. And I'm non-binary. No, you're not. You can't be a trans man and be non-binary. Man is binary.
And there's that little distinction that's hard to explain, but is very important to my identity and my perception of myself.
It's very important to my identity. Listen to the words. You're going to see the cult indoctrination already from the get-go. I'm a man, I am a trans man, and I'm non-binary. None of it makes sense.
The way that I can kind of explain it is that a cis man has not experienced
cis man, cult language,
the expansiveness of gender that I have experienced.
See, and they always do this. They always do this thing like, I'm better than you. I'm better than cis people because X, Y, and Z, because my experience is more expansive. First off, stop calling people cis. They don't like it, okay? Number two, why are you in competition? Why are these people in competition with everybody? I'm not in competition with you. I am this person who walks the world this way. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. That's what I keep trying to show you. They think they're better than you, yet they want to be you. Does that make sense? They want to be you so bad, yet they are better than you. What part of that makes sense? What part of that makes sense? None of it. Because if you want to be that and you're aspiring to be that, yet you don't think that is good enough, what are you doing? What is it that you want to be? Just crazy, you guys.
A cis man has lived his whole life in this box. I lived way over there.
You see that? Again, comment. A cis man has lived in his little box. Okay, really? What box is that? I'd like to know what box that is. And so basically what you're saying is cisgender people don't have the same experience. They don't have the same experience as you, 100%, right? We know that. But at the same time, then why do you want to be them? And how do you know what experience a cis man has? All my male friends have amazing experiences and amazing lives. And I aspire to be male. So if I'm aspiring to be male, I'm not going to talk shit about them as if they're lower than me. So I'm aspiring to be lower. You guys, I mean, I didn't graduate high school. So, have you ever thought about going on Tim Pool? Oh, yeah, I have. I'm hoping he reaches out to me. They are libertarian, and Blair goes there all the time. His audience with, yeah, I know. I don't know why he hasn't reached out to me. I'll send a message to them again. So I would love to go on Tim Pool. 100%. I listen to him all the time. Let me finish with this.
For years. And I know what it's like to be treated as a girl in society. And I know what it's like to be standing here like this at work and have one customer come up to me and confidently call me she, her. And the next customer come up and confidently call me he, him.
Oh my God. It's actually embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't understand where these people's minds are at. They want to be men so bad, but then they want to be non-binary, but then they want to be everything. That's what I think. They just literally want everything. And they want you to acknowledge they want everything. God, grow up. Grow up, people. You don't get to have everything.
People who I believe were
Wait, watch.
since
Okay,
coming
last
out
one.
as non-binary, I've had a number of people who I believe were questioning their gender ask me, like, Kat, how did you know you were non-binary? Usually just tell them that
Oh my God. How did you know you were non-binary? I just guessed because it's a guess. How did you know you were non-binary? Really? They're taking themselves so seriously. You can't. It's a good question. How did you know? Let's listen.
that like girl and woman fit me the way that like an ill-fitting set of clothes might fit you. Like, you could wear it and it would sort of work, but you wouldn't feel good about yourself in it and it wouldn't feel right on you. And that is how my assigned birth gender always felt to me.
You see, all you got to do is listen. Every word out of their mouth is a cult word. They say the same exact, all of them. They all say the same thing. Assigned female at birth. I didn't feel like a man or a woman. What does a man or a woman feel like? Can anybody in this room answer? What does it feel like to be a man or a woman? I can't even answer that. I don't know what it means to feel like a man or a woman. I know what it means to feel like me. And I know what I want to look like. And I know how comfortable I am when someone calls me he as opposed to she. But I have no idea what that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, these people are talking and they're talking in tongues. That's what they're doing. They're literally talking.
And there's a few things that go into gender. There's your body that you live in and your conceptualization of your body as like a gendered thing. There's the social role that you occupy and how people see you and how they treat you because of their perception of
stereotype and your biology, not your gender, your sex.
Of your gender. And then there's also just what exists in your head and like who you know yourself to be. I was on Tumblr.
I'm 61. I still don't know who I am. I'm 32 years transition. Hell if I know who the fuck I am.
Tumblr like forever ago. Like this would have been like 2008, 2009. I'm old. And I saw the word non-binary and I remember staring at my computer screen being like, you can You can do that? And
See, they just exposed themselves. She doesn't feel non-binary. She saw a word, and somehow that word resonated with her desire to be different. Because you can tell by the way she dresses, all of it. It's her desire to be different. It is not the fact that she feels a certain way. Because if she didn't feel like a man or a woman, that's called androgyny, okay? Or gender nonconforming. That's been around forever, way before non-binary. Everyone knows about gender nonconforming and everyone knows about androgyny. So this person is acting like, boop, a light bulb went on when I saw non-binary. Nope, that's just, you saw a word that made you go, oh, I can be different than everyone else. That's what that is.
this like opened up this whole new ability to conceptualize myself as like something other than male or female.
See, they're just talking. I know you all recognize it. They're all trying so hard to be different. They're trying so hard not to be part of cisgender or be part of regular normal people. I want to be normal. I don't want to be different. That's the difference between them and me. Yeah, when I was 20, I wanted to be different and a punk rocker and fuck the society and anarchy. Of course, we all go through those kind of pushback things. But the reality of the matter is eventually we grow up and we become mature and we want to fit into the world because everyone wants to fit in. I don't care what you say to me, but everyone wants to fit in. So the whole point was to, on some level, normalize us so that you didn't see me as different. You saw me as a part of. That's my goal. My goal is to normalize me and on some level be normal with my tattoos and my different way of being and all of those things. But to show you that even though you don't agree with me, I'm just a normal guy who wants a family, travel the world, do cool things, have a house, all the things that everyone else kind of aspires to. That's what is missing from those people. They're pretending like they're different than the rest of us. And they're pretending that they're more special than cisgender people because they're trying so hard not to be normal. That's never been the goal for a transsexual person. The goal is to be normal because I wasn't normal. As a kid, I wasn't normal. As an adult, I wasn't normal. Until I found my space, I became normal. So when we tell children that they're not normal by calling them trans, what do you think that does to a kid's psyche? They don't feel a part of. They feel different. So when you make a kid trans, he's now or she now has to walk the world with that fucking label that you just put on them when they might not even be trans. Yet now at the age of fucking 0, you can transition your child. Sick and twisted. And that, my friends, is the end of today. I hope I didn't warp you too much. I hope you go on and have a beautiful, awesome day. And I just hope that on some level, I can encourage you to be your real, authentic self and not the bullshit authentic self of I'm non-binary and I have 500 different pronouns and I have autism and DID and I'm a furry and I like to run around. No, that's encouraging mental health problems. Why are we not encouraging all of us to just stand in our space and to be normal and to be part of the world and to not take everything, but to start learning to give back and to help people and to not be angry because you might be a little different or that person is different? Why are we not teaching coexistence? Why are we not teaching, you know what, kiddo? You're not weird and you're not different. You're just going through what all of us went through, puberty. But instead of us doing that, we're like, oh shit, That kid's going to go through puberty. Let's make sure he doesn't deal with that shit. What? Who's running the game? Who is running the fucking game? Because I need to step up and be Coach Buck at this point. Get the fuck, who's ever coaching, they're a horrible coach. And we need to fire them right now. And I will take the job because I'm tired of it. And we need to seriously exercise our brains again. We're not exercising our brains. We're exercising feelings. We're putting feelings over facts and brains. And everyone knows it. You all know it. All of us do. It's why we show up every week and we have these conversations, because we know we're having the wool pulled over our eyes. We all know we're being gaslit. But here we sit today. Here we sit going, what? As those laws keep rolling over us and not them. So if there's anything you ever take from me, I hope you take my integrity and my desire for the truth. And remember, when me and you lock hands and me and you say, yeah, we might disagree on X, Y, and Z, but our ultimate goal is truth. And our ultimate goal is to get back to me living my life and you living your life. And that's all we want. We should be able to walk on the same street. We should be able to shop in the same grocery store. We should be able to be whoever we want to be. But the thing we should not be doing is forcing other people to take on your belief system. That's not fair and that doesn't work. Okay? So remember that. Have a beautiful day. I hope I didn't talk too much. I think Seth is bringing out a reaction video that I did. I totally appreciate it if you guys all watch it. You're helping me so much. You're helping this channel. You're helping us get our message out. You're helping us create a newer community full of love and acceptance, and also opinions. Opinions do matter. Opinions matter. When we start shutting down opinions, we're it's ridiculous. So that's why I value you all. I want your opinions. I want you to push back. I want you to feel free here. I want you to go walk the world and start to realize that if we don't push back, it's a slippery slope. Have a beautiful day, friends, and I'll see you all later.